Here they are lying here. Burn vigorously.
Russian troops have regained control of more than 86% of the territory in Kursk Oblast captured by Kyiv. Valery Gerasimov, the chief of the General Staff of the Russian Army, said on March 12th, while Ukraine said it was ready to fight as long as needed. His claims come as multiple Ukrainian and Russian sources reported that Russian troops had entered Sudzha, a key Ukrainian-held stronghold in the Russian border region of Kursk. Following Gerasimov's reports, Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky confirmed ongoing battles in the suburbs of Sudzha and the surrounding areas. In the most difficult situation, my priority has been and remains to save the lives of Ukrainian soldiers. To do this, the units of the defense forces, if necessary, maneuver to more favorable positions, said Syrsky. He added that Ukraine will hold the defense in Kursk Oblast as long as reasonable and necessary. Syrsky added that Russia has suffered catastrophic losses in the Kursk region. Nearly 55,000 casualties, over 22,200 killed, 31,800 wounded, and 942 captured. Since the start of the operation, Ukrainian forces have destroyed over 2,100 pieces of equipment, including 90 tanks, 654 armored vehicles, 1,500 drones, and 1,100 trucks. According to Gerasimov, Russian forces have recaptured 24 settlements and 259 square kilometers, 100 square miles of territory in Kursk Oblast. Russian news agency TASS published purported footage showing Russian President Vladimir Putin visiting one of the Russian troops' control centers in Kursk Oblast, which is claimed to have marked his first trip to the embattled region since the beginning of Kyiv's incursion. The Ukrainian military has not publicly commented on the claims. Putin ordered to regain control over the entire territory of Kursk Oblast and to consider creating a security zone along the border with Ukraine, TASS wrote. Russia is seeking to push Ukrainian troops out of Kursk Oblast and move the fighting to Sumy and Kharkiv Oblast. The Russian president also said that Ukrainian soldiers captured in Kursk Oblast should be labeled as terrorists. Russia's general staff claimed that over 400 Ukrainian troops have been taken captive in the region. Russian soldier from the 810th Marine Brigade stationed in Kursk is talking here. This is a road 5 kilometers from the front line. All humanitarian aid in the form of transport remains here. No one has received the promised modular electronic warfare systems. If they hadn't stolen anything, but had used the money raised by volunteers to install protection on our cars, there wouldn't have been such losses.
The toy cars sent to us as humanitarian aid. Most of them stay here. Coconut. Here they are lying here. Burn vigorously, but as everyone understands, a car here is worth its weight in gold. Here is your BMW or a Moto League.
Ukraine has received 2.5 billion Canadian dollars, 1.7 billion US dollars under the G7 ERA initiative. These funds, secured from frozen Russian assets, will cover key budget needs. This is Canada's first tranche, part of a total 5 billion Canadian dollar commitment to use profits from seized Russian assets for Ukraine, Prime Minister Shmyhal reports. Zelensky outlined the steps for ending martial law and holding elections. First, Ukraine must focus on securing a ceasefire and creating a detailed plan to end the war with security guarantees. Once these conditions are met, martial law will be lifted and elections will proceed according to Ukrainian law. The U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, has notified the Energy Community Secretariat about the termination of its $75 million grant agreement with the Ukraine Energy Support Fund. This decision will reduce funds for vital equipment needed for Ukraine's energy sector. The White House has instructed the U.S. military to explore options for increasing its presence in Panama. According to NBC, which cited 2 anonymous U.S. officials, the U.S. Southern Command is assessing potential scenarios, ranging from expanding cooperation with the Panamanian military to the less likely option of seizing control of the Panama Canal by force. During his recent address to Congress, Donald Trump stated, "To further strengthen national security, my administration will take back the Panama Canal." However, the administration did not specify what exactly is meant by regaining control. According to officials, the main goal of the Trump administration is to increase the U.S. military presence in Panama to curb China's growing influence, including its access to the strategically important canal. Both Panama and China deny any foreign interference in the Panama Canal, which remains neutral under Panama's constitution. Chinese officials have accused the United States of using coercion, alleging that Washington is pressuring Panamanian officials to block Chinese infrastructure projects. Officials emphasize that a U.S. military invasion of Panama is unlikely and will be considered only if diplomatic measures and the expansion of the U.S. military presence do not yield the expected result. Currently, more than 200 U.S. military personnel are stationed in Panama, including special forces, but their number fluctuates due to rotation. Potential strategies of the Trump administration also include forceful enforcement of ship passage and port protection. Recently, it was reported that U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth threatened military action if the Mexican government does not start fighting drug cartels. This statement somewhat deteriorated relations between the governments and created some tension due to the threat from the United States to Mexico's territorial integrity. Hegseth said that if the necessary measures are not taken, the U.S. armed forces will unilaterally start acting on their own. Rheinmetall is looking at the Volkswagen automobile plant to set up production of infantry fighting vehicles and other armored vehicles. The company's CEO, Armin Paperger, told Reuters that he expects a significant increase in defense procurement in 2025. Paperger believes that the automotive plant in the German city of Osnabrück is well suited for conversion to military production. In December, Volkswagen, the owner of the plant, announced its intention to reorganize the enterprise or sell it. The head of Rheinmetall justified the choice by saying that an armored vehicle company needs heavy cranes with the appropriate lifting capacity, which the aforementioned plant has. The company is in constant communication with Volkswagen through its existing cooperation in the production of military trucks. Paperger clarified that before investing in new locations, significant orders will be needed, for example, for the Lynx infantry fighting vehicle. One thing is clear. Before I build a new tank plant in Germany, we will certainly look at it, Paperger said. If the deal is finalized, this will be the third German enterprise in recent months to be transferred to the military for weapons production. Earlier, Rheinmetall converted 2 of its own automotive plants to produce defense products. According to the plans, both plants will be transferred to the ammunition production unit. The company said that these facilities will not perform operations with explosives, but will produce mechanical components. The new facilities will become so-called hybrid plants, while retaining the ability to produce civilian products. German defense companies are looking for more capacity as Europe prepares to increase military spending. Companies are hiring valuable workers from the declining automotive industry and other sectors. For example, in parallel with Rheinmetall, another German defense giant, KNDS Deutschland, formerly KMW, announced the conversion of Alstom's railcar plant in Görlitz to armored vehicles. Having invested tens of millions of euros in re-equipping its facilities, the company plans to start producing armored hulls and other elements required for the production of Leopard 2 tanks, RCH-155 artillery systems, and Boxer combat vehicles. Amid active arms contracting and controversial statements by the U.S. president, shares of European defense companies have risen significantly in price.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.